Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in. We have a lot to talk about. And, of course, this is a really tragic topic and subject. That cinematographer should be alive. She was not alive because there was no respect for the Second Amendment on that set pertaining to safety protocols that anyone who's handled a firearm knows. You don't point it at anyone, ever. And if you want to say, well, it's a movie set, you yourself check. The rounds look differently than normal Full Metal Jacket rounds. Okay? They look differently. You can tell. You can tell oftentimes, let's say, by looking at the rounds. So he should have looked himself. He should never have let 3 people. We will talk about that. There were 3 people who handled the same firearm before he did. He should never have ignored the 3 accidental discharges. According to the Los Angeles Times, the article is below. The articles are below. I'm not making anything up. And you have to ask yourself, could this have been prevented had he simply abided by basic safety protocols? Yes, there was a literal walkout, a protest on the set. There was a protest on the set. There was literally a protest on the set of people walking out. Literally people walking out because of safety concerns. What more do you need to know about Alec Baldwin's culpability? The man, look, if this is a low level, production assistant or some kind of first time actor, different story. He's the executive producer. Hit subscribe to this channel right now, ladies and gentlemen. We are now officially over 185,000 subs. To my super chat, I cannot do this without you. Alice, thank you. JSpot51, canned pears. I love you. I love your jokes, but this is, as long as they're algorithmically friendly, and as always, I know that my viewers are going to be as respectful as possible because it's so tragic. But canned pears, one of the great names in this channel's history. Thank you. And JSpot51, thank you. As always, canned pears and JSpot51. Eric and Luke, thank you. Eric has a JG, hello, always a pleasure. Eric has a YouTube channel, an Odyssey channel. Subscribe to his channels. Luke St. Martin, thank you so very much as always. Number one, there were 3 accidental discharges. So that's number 1. Okay? Where live rounds were discharged. He did not have a meeting with the armorer. He did not have a meeting to discuss the safety issues of why live rounds were being used on the set. This is a problem. This is a very big problem. Why didn't he simply come out and say, okay, we're going to have a meeting? Why didn't he simply come out and say that? Why didn't he meet with the armorer and discuss why there were 3 accidental discharges, according to the Los Angeles Times? He didn't do that. According to the Los Angeles Times, you can see, first of all, the Rust crew walked off the set to protest safety conditions hours before the tragedy. They were replaced by non-union crew members. He replaced them with non-union crew members. Non-union. He deliberately He did everything possible to deliberately save money. The guy's worth $60 million. Typical morally superior liberal. Alec Baldwin will be the first one to pontificate about erasing the Second Amendment. And this is the problem. This is why you have people like Alec Baldwin are completely ignorant of basic safety protocols. I don't care if he was given the firearm and it wasn't a prop, it was a real firearm. I don't care if he was given the firearm by either the armor or the assistant director. That's completely, when they say, well, they said it was cold. Well, then he has to check to see if there are no rounds in there. He has to check, open up the cylinder or eject the magazine and make sure there's nothing, not one in the hole if it's an automatic. But it was a revolver, a .44, so you can just open up the cylinder and see. It makes no sense. It makes no sense to say that, see, this is something that, like, only a good morally superior liberal would find convincing. Well, he was told it was cold. He was told it wasn't loaded. So what? Well, he was given the prop, which, by the way, wasn't a prop. If it's in his hands, it's his responsibility. He was told it was safe. This is the kind of ignorance from people who are so self-righteous, but they bask in their own ignorance. They actually gain confidence from being ignorant. It's not about someone telling you it's safe. You have to look yourself. This is why, it's like every aspect of society now. If an expert tells you something, you just listen like a little drone, like a little, zombie. Because, you've given up critical thinking skills. Even if you didn't really know anything about firearm safety, if you knew that somebody was handing you something of epic power, something that could end someone's life in a second, which you utilize to protect yourself and your family. That's what the Second Amendment is about, protection and life. You would make sure to look, even if you didn't know anything about firearm safety. You would know to ensure it was safe. But he didn't do that. Then, can you get any more incriminating than having his own crew leave? Does this make sense to anyone? Does this make sense to anyone? His own crew left. Do you need any more these people stand by him because they're completely clueless? Exactly, JG, exactly. There is no such thing as a safe firearm. There's no such thing as an unloaded firearm. You always make sure it's unloaded yourself. Even if you see someone unloaded in front of you, make sure yourself. And only pointed at something you want to destroy. Or could be destroyed. And it's like this was completely preventable. The people defending Alec Baldwin now don't know anything about firearm safety, and they also don't realize that he hired non-union workers. one of which might have been the three. So three, this is also a big problem. Three individuals handled the firearm, and we'll read the New York Post article. Three individuals handled the firearm before Alec Baldwin took control of it and used it and ended the life of the cinematographer. Three individuals. How did he allow... So, well, if three individuals handled... I mean, just use basic logic. Just use basic logic. If three individuals handled it, then all three... If three individuals handle the firearm, well, let's just read this right here. Worker in charge of Alec Baldwin prop, which it wasn't a prop, it was real, was replacement hire amid onset chaos, safety concerns. The prop master who handled the gun that ended the life of Alec Baldwin's, the cinematographer on Alec Baldwin's film Rust, was just brought in amid a protest over conditions on the set. So, he's the executive producer. He wanted to cut corners or save money. So, this person is almost certainly non-union. The identified employee was hired to replace someone else amid chaos on the set. So, tell me again how it's not directly his fault. Again, you're not talking about a production assistant. This man is like... You couldn't get a better example of a liberal male than Chris Cuomo or Hunter Biden or Alec Baldwin. These people are always either, if it's Alec Baldwin or Chris Cuomo, it's always like, you talking to me, man? Hey, you want some? You want some? You want some? You want it? You want it? You want some? You want some of this? You want this? You want this? They're always like little, frightened peacocks. Strutting around because they know that they have an inferiority complex, because they know that if they did mess with the wrong person, it would be curtains. Curtains. You want it? You want some? You looking at me? Huh? It's an insult to your peoples, man. Conrad. Maybe producer Alec Baldwin will pull Roman Polanski and finally leave the U.S. for France. Conrad. Who knows? Anything's possible now. Well, still extradition, I guess. That's interesting. What happened? Why wasn't he extradited? Conrad, thank you. Thank you so much, Conrad. Canned Pears, J-Spot. I can't do this without my super chat. Thank you. Haha, JR, hello. Sir Blake, hello. But he's just the perfect, there's three people, so you can't, none of the three, I mean, this is, again, this is not about, this is about, they don't respect, they want to just ban the Second Amendment, but they don't respect, and they don't know anything of this. Sorry about that. How long was I buffering? Probably a while. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Where did I leave off? Where did I leave off? Where was I before the buffering? Where was I before the buffering? Oh no. Where was I? 2 minutes? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I was going through a whole thing, so well, let's see. Now I was going through this whole little skit. Oh my goodness. I must be like out of my mind. Anyway, what happens is sometimes it buffers and then I have to restart OBS, and I didn't restart OBS. So I was just talking to myself like a person who's lost his mind. Anyway, yeah, you have to ask yourself the mentality, okay? What's the mentality that allows a person, 3 people, so the union for the workers who walked off the set claimed the prop had a live round in it when it discharged. Okay, this is of course obvious, but there were 3 discharges. The prop also misfired twice on Saturday and once during the previous week, meaning with live rounds. So, could have been, a mechanical issue, but it doesn't matter. There was a serious lack of safety meetings on the set. No safety meetings, and he replaced people. He replaced people to save money. So, okay. On a 911 recording, a woman who identifies herself in the movie script supervisors is heard blaming the accident on someone whose name is apparently bleeped out. Okay, this is this person that yelled at me at lunch asking me about revisions. This person. Did you see him lean over my desk and yell at me? He's supposed to check the firearms. He's responsible for what happens. But see, this mentality is also... Okay, this is also a generational issue also, because Hollywood is known to treat people... I do, JG, I do. There's a whole slab of meat behind the the backdrop. It is cold. So the crew is being treated like garbage, but this is a generational thing, because even 15 years ago or 10 years ago, people on the set, Hollywood sets, know that they're going to be treated like garbage. Okay, this is the mentality. This is the mentality of morally superior, wonderful, morally superior. I don't want to speak about... I'm not speaking about the people on that set, but it's a mentality that morally superior liberals have. They're morally superior. And they believe that they can judge the character, the morality of others. Meanwhile, they're mired in a cesspool of immorality and the most horrible abuses. They're getting overworked, underpaid, using non-union labor, okay, which exacerbated the problem. There was a protest over safety conditions, and then here's on the 911 call, it's not, this is the problem. Alec Baldwin is at fault, not the person who gave him. No one is responsible for checking the firearm other than Alec Baldwin. Only he is. Yes, are other people also responsible? Yes, but he is the ultimate responsibility lies with Alec Baldwin. And this is why, like, the majority of the people on the set didn't... Canned pears, to be fair, accidental. Canned pears, yes. Thank you. Canned pears, yes. Thank you so very much. Canned pears. Did you see him lean over? Can't think you can't Paris. He's supposed to check the firearms. He's responsible for what happened. No, he's not. I mean, he could be. There's 3 people or 4 people or 5 people responsible. The armorer being one of them. Obviously. But Alec Baldwin should have had meetings to discuss what took place. He didn't. An unidentified crew member told the LA Times that the cinematographer had been advocating for safer working conditions for her team. And she ended up losing her life. So, I mean, she was advocating for better working conditions, and this is the type of person. This is the type of person. This is I'm reading the messages. This is the type of person who, like, you got to understand the mentality. And I went through this during the 2 minutes where I was speaking to myself like a madman. They view half the country as their pet. Did anyone hear that part of my diatribe? They view half the country as their pet. They view half the country as, like, if you listen to good, morally superior liberals, if you listen to them, they'll say, oh, good Republican, good conservative, yeah, conservative Lincoln Project, yeah, good person, yeah, good never Trumper, yeah, we love you now, yes, you did so good, never Trumper, here's a little Scooby snack, yeah, never Trumper, yeah, you did a good job, Republican, that we like for the time being. Good job, yeah. You listen to us and you help us and you help keep everyone safe, yeah. And then if you don't listen to them, it's bad half the country, bad. Russia, you worked with Russia. Now, no, you got your little Scooby snacks, and no, you bad half the country. Okay, now you're going to, okay, no. Time out for you, and you know what? We're gonna put you back in the cage, Trumper, far left, anyone with critical thinking skills, back in the cage. You didn't listen to us. Big problem. You probably worked with Russia. You're an animal that worked with Russia. And they're the ones who are mired in immorality and the most obscene behavior. Anyone listening to an actor or director or producer on morality is listening to the wrong person. These people are power-hungry, maniacal, overconfident imbeciles who are ignorant about so many just basic things in life. They're so idealistic that they span beyond, like, it's good to be idealistic, but it's bad to be judgmental if the only reference point you have is idealism. If the only reference point you have is what you think is good, then that's a bad thing. Paul, thank you. So this person, okay, did you see him lean over my desk and yell at me? He's supposed to check the firearms. He's responsible for what happened. So the interesting thing also is the unidentified crew member told the LA Times that the cinematographer had been advocating for safer working conditions for her team. How people are defending Alec Baldwin, who is responsible for the working conditions, as executive director, he is responsible for the working conditions. Alec Baldwin is responsible for the working conditions. He is responsible for the working conditions. Hidden for time. We lost you around the time you began to write Genesis. Oh, those were good days. Hidden for time. Thank you. Sam, hello. Hidden for Time, thank you so very, very, very much. Hidden for Time, thank you. The newspaper reported half a dozen camera crew workers went on strike Thursday to protest their conditions. So the camera crew goes on strike and the cinematographer loses her life. Does that make any sense to you? I'm not trying to give you a hint or whatever. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that at all. But does that make any sense to you? Does that make any sense? And you have this photo that almost certainly was taken as a public relations ploy, where Alec Baldwin seems to be in anguish, but he's holding his you-know-what. He's holding the cell phone and you-know-what, which tells you everything you need to know about life in 2021. He just ended the life of somebody because he didn't follow safety procedures, basic safety procedures pertaining to firearms, something that you have to devote every waking moment to a sober analysis of safety. He ended the life of somebody using a firearm because he didn't abide by safety protocols, but he's holding a you-know-what along with his phone. Okay? Okay? He's more worried about a microscopic organism than an actual live round. And that's 2021. Because it's not ending. Because they still have a stranglehold on life. SK coming at you live from an igloo. No, I mean, when I say hint, I mean, I don't, the camera crew protests working conditions, and the cinematographer loses her life. So, who knows, like, is Alec Baldwin beyond trying to send some type of morbid message? Not deliberately trying to end the life, but trying to, like, you know, show everyone who's boss? I don't know. Probably not. But who knows? The man is a narcissist. He played Trump because he thought, like, everyone, half the country, or probably less than half the country, thinks Trump is the greatest narcissist who's ever lived. Well, Trump has never been in this situation. Then they say, well, you know, he ended the lives of so many people. It's like, well, so did Biden then, by that metric. Pertaining to you-know-what. But they always have to, make these absurd leaps of logic. Anyway, a settlement was apparently reached because the Times reported that the workers, members of the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, later spent an hour setting up their gear, but several union workers reportedly showed up to replace them. A non-union, and a member of the production staff ordered the disgruntled crew to leave. Well, this is chaos and mayhem. This is the you're hiring non-union, and you're a good Democrat. Alec Baldwin's entire life has led to this point. His entire life has led to this point. He's been arrested twice, kicked off airplanes, always in a scuffle with people. And if you're like a paparazzi or something, it can't be that difficult to go head to head with this man. It can't be that. It's not like, you know, this isn't like the heavyweight champ. It's not like you're like facing Tyson Fury. So he's always in a scuffle with people, like, you know, good, morally superior. Look, Anthony Weiner, Chris Cuomo, Alec Baldwin, Hunter Biden. I mean, and Bill Clinton. Can you get the Attorney General of Virginia? Or no, sorry, not the Attorney General, Lieutenant General. Or no, Lieutenant Governor. Lieutenant Governor of Virginia. I mean, these are good, morally superior liberals. Look at all the wonderful people. Anthony Weiner, Hunter Biden. They were calling Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump Uday and Kusei for just a hunting trip, which is legal and fine. And if you eat the game, it's not a problem. It's just part of culture. Every culture has it. But of course, that's the part of culture they don't like. Tell me what Donald Trump Jr. did, or Eric Trump, that's even similar to Anthony Weiner, or to Hunter Biden, or to Chris Cuomo. These are the people judging half the country. You have the greatest deviants and derelicts judging half the country. I don't get it. I mean, it's just like you have people who are such like it's beyond narcissism. It's like this arrogance. It's this arrogance they have. This arrogance that they know better than anyone else because they defer to experts all the time, and that's a hallmark of society nowadays. Defer to experts. Defer. It's that person's responsibility to make sure I'm safe and happy. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's your responsibility. You need to look at the firearm yourself. You can have 400 people tell you it's a safe firearm. Then you need to go ahead and check it yourself. You can have 1,000 people. You can have 4,000 people. You can have every human being on the planet saying it's a safe firearm. Then you need to check it yourself. And if you don't do that, you're liable. And if you cause problems on the set, or if you are an executive producer and everyone is complaining about working conditions, then you're a problem. So it's like criminal charges are going to be filed almost certainly, and if they're not filed, it's a complete travesty. Because he's criminally liable. The criminal issue is the intent. The intent involves ignoring and exacerbating the horrible work environment, the unsafe work environment. That's the issue. That's the issue. The problem is they are this set was unsafe because of Alec Baldwin. Because the executive producer did not address safety concerns that the camera crew warned him of. Quote, corners were being cut and they brought in non-union people so they could continue filming. Why would you be cutting corners if you are Alec Baldwin, you're worth $60 million. Why are you cutting corners? Why are you cutting corners? He was exercising negligence every step of the way, Alec Baldwin. You can't simply... You're the executive producer. You can't simply say, well, I trusted the assistant director to give me a firearm that was safe. Because there is no firearm that's safe. You always have to always check yourself. But you can't just... What is he going to say? Well, I was told it was safe, so what? So what if he was told it was safe? You have to check it yourself. That's a basic rule. And it's not a prop because someone lost their life. These are the same people who would gleefully talk about erasing the Second Amendment when there's a criminal that commits an atrocity. A criminal, a psychotic criminal, madman. A psychotic madman goes into a public area, commits an absolute atrocity. And if he's in a blue state, the people around are not allowed to defend themselves with their own firearms. And so, how many laws are broken now? Well, the madman taking his firearm into a crowded location, maybe a place that you can't even possess those, breaking one law, then of course breaking numerous laws that exist in ending people's lives. But it is the fault of law-abiding citizens who want to protect themselves and their families. Because if there were more laws that this criminal would be intent on breaking anyway, people would be safe. They have no concept. People have they have no concept of free will. They have zero concept of free will. Everything is someone else's fault, or if you just government we can control people, and we can control people to a point where they can where there's no where you can infringe upon rights to make sure that people are safe from madmen. But how many laws were in the books to prevent Alec Baldwin from ending the life of the cinematographer? There were already laws in the books. There was a labor contract, I'm sure, that he broke when he hired non-union members. I mean, do you think there's a labor contract? Hiring non-union, let's see. So, let's see. So there are hoops that you have to go through, but I think you can hire non-union. But still, the concept is, yet again, an example of hypocrisy. It's an example of hypocrisy. These are the same people who push and defend unions. But again, like the working conditions, you're going to go ahead, you're Alec Baldwin, you got $60 million. Okay? And let's say that's wrong, you got $20 million. You're an executive producer, so you're going to make money off of residuals in numerous ways. You're already getting paid a salary, and then you'll make residual money, and who knows how many millions of dollars you'll make. Who knows how many millions of dollars he's already making, and how many millions he plans on making after, the movie from residuals, or points, or however it's structured. And he's so hard up to cut corners, to keep budget. Like, every movie goes over budget, or building a house goes over budget. So what? So you can't go over budget? You can't go over budget, Alec Baldwin. Mr. Morally Superior Trump impersonator. You gotta hire non-union just because you can't go over the budget. God forbid. And you have these people well, it's the prop master, it's the armorer, it's the assistant director. No, it's Alec Baldwin. Yeah, of course they were inept. We already know the armorer was inept. We already know the person was completely inept. We already know that the assistant director was completely irresponsible and inept. We already know that other people involved. There were 3 people who handled the firearm. Okay? But You have to make sure that you have to make sure that you go ahead inspect the cartridges yourself, because a blank round looks different from a live round. A full metal jacket and a blank round are different. They look different. They look different. And so you have to do that. But again, I mean, this is like, it's a tragedy that people are, let's just see, hold on one second. So you better believe, by the way, that very few on the left are talking about this, and if they are, it's to just defend. It's just to defend. They're still focused on Trump. They're still focused on Trump. And they're still focused on their apoplectic, like, little, their little cult world where they're, like, on the side of goodness. And so hold on one second. Let's see. You type in Alec Baldwin. I'm not on Twitter, but you type in Alec Baldwin on Twitter, and you get accidents happen while on set. It wasn't an accident. It was a deliberate attempt at making an unsafe set and environment just to cut corners to save money. And he didn't check to see if there was a live round, which was utilized. Oh, and then of course you get, what's his name? It's unbelievable. Who's this guy? I don't even remember his name. Hold on one second. Let's listen to this for a second. Who is this guy's name? You'll tell me who it is. I forgot his name. It's oh Lord, if he uses profanity, let's see.
Piss stain.
He's already using it.
Donald Trump Jr. is on Instagram right now.
So what? So what? You defending Alec Baldwin? Who is this guy? I forgot his name. He thinks he's like another narcissist, like good, morally superior liberal who has a hilarious... Oh, I didn't want to get into it.
Mocking and making fun of the tragic accidental death of an innocent woman.
No, he's not making fun of anything. He's not mocking. He's probably talking about how Alec Baldwin is culpable from a criminal sense. Maybe you should find out why they hired non-union workers. Huh? Why did they hire non-union workers? Why were there 3 accidental discharges? You know what? What's this actor's name again? Hold on. So, let's see. I have to This is so funny. So wasn't he in... I thought he was in Do the Right Thing, but like... I'm looking now. I can't even find him. God. Anyway. The point is, let's see what Donald Trump Jr. said. So they're like, oh, he's not mocking the tragedy. He's mocking the ignorance of Alec Baldwin, the absolute ignorance, which Alec Baldwin did end the life of somebody because he did not check to see if it was a live round. My God, that's the thing. Like, it's too close to home. They can't possibly look in the mirror. They can't possibly look in the mirror. Conrad! That's right. And Conrad, thank you. Oh, that's right. Rappaport. Michael Rappaport. This guy is always like, this is the typical liberal Hollywood imbecile. Michael Rappaport is the type of person who will never disparage Alec Baldwin for actually hiring non-union workers and ignoring 3 accidental discharges, according to the Los Angeles Times. But Michael Rappaport will talk like this, and he'll be like this like tough guy, like Chris Cuomo. You want some? You talking to me? Let's go. And I mean, like, you could probably beat him in arm wrestling with like your pinky or like half your hand. And he's defending Alec Baldwin and turning it on Trump Jr. because of a shirt that actually is a political statement that they would have made had it been, God forbid, a mass, atrocity of somebody using a firearm. The whole point is that they didn't even follow protocols on the set. They think that laws are going to prevent madmen from committing crimes. Insane people, deranged people who want to commit atrocities will do so unless they're stopped through reciprocal means. We'll leave it at that. And he's going to use profanity, so let's just see. Hold on. Okay, hold on.
On the set of a Alec Baldwin film.
An Alec Baldwin film, who, by the way, used non-union labor to cut corners. But you didn't talk about that, Mr. Rappaport, did you? No. Maybe you want to use non-union labor also. Maybe you're okay with that. Maybe you're okay with 3 accidental discharges. Okay? Maybe you enjoy that discharging stuff.
Because that's what these shit...
No, that's what you do. That's what the left does. That's what Democrats do all the time. They can't wait for a tragedy to utilize the tragedy into a political statement, justifying their own warped ideologies. So, atrocity takes place. A madman commits an atrocity. Oh, every law-abiding citizen must, their Second Amendment right must be infringed upon, erased, because more laws will protect the world from a criminal madman who decides to inflict as much damage as possible. And oh, by the way, these criminal madmen are only stopped with reciprocal force. They're not stopped by laws because they're breaking the laws. But let's continue. Hold on.
Was mocking and belittling the death of it.
No, he was not mocking and belittling. He was mocking and belittling Alec Baldwin, which Alec Baldwin has spent the past 4 years mocking and belittling Trump, which you didn't care about, which you mock and belittle everybody, apparently.
A 4-star general of the United States.
Millie. He's defending Millie. What does Millie have to do with this? Who brought up Millie?
Former Secretary of State Colin Powell.
Okay, that I agree. That's the only thing I agree. That's the only thing I agree with Michael Rappaport on. Nobody should have disparaged Colin Powell. So I do agree with that.
These are miserable.
Nah, you're exactly what you claim they are. I would continue, but look, this is an issue of cutting corners. This is an issue of making the set as dangerous as possible because you wanted to save money. Nico Hammer, H love from Australia. Thank you, Nico. Thank you so very much, Nico. Thank you. Greatly appreciated, Nico Hammer. Thank you. I hope all is well, and God bless Australia, my God. God bless Australia. Nico Hammer, thank you. And Paul, thank you. To my Australian crew, thank you. Thank you, Nico. Greatly appreciated. If he didn't cut corners, like, we already know, I think I might be one of the few people actually really focusing on this. If he didn't know, like, we already know that all of these cost-cutting measures took place. We already know that. I mean, how hard is it to actually look at reality and say, okay, you're now going to look at Alec Baldwin's responsibility in this. All right? His responsibility in this. What's his responsibility? Is he culpable for this? Is he responsible for what happened? Yeah, he is. Does it matter that Donald Trump Jr. is turning it into a political issue? They turn every tragedy, every example of suffering into political issues. That's all they do. That's how they derive their political momentum. That is literally all they do. They derive political momentum from judging and pontificating when anyone loses their life on any topic at all. On any topic at all. So you got to ask yourself, okay, yeah, Alec Baldwin is a hero on the left because he, devotes so much time to mocking Trump. But did he cause this tragedy? Yeah, he did cause the tragedy. That's obvious. He didn't check the firearm. He ignored safety precautions. He ignored people actually leaving, like people actually protesting and leaving the set. Actually protesting and leaving the set. Actually protesting and leaving the set. So I mean, that's pretty much, I don't know how on earth anyone can defend Alec Baldwin knowing that his own cast and crew were protesting. His own cast and crew were protesting safety conditions. I don't understand how that happens. How on earth, if your own cast and crew are protesting safety conditions, how on earth does Alec Baldwin escape culpability? I don't get it. How does that happen? How on earth does that happen? I just don't get it. I don't understand the mentality that, like, you better believe if the roles were reversed, it would be game over. It would be game over. There would be no room for any type of sympathy or empathy. Even for the person who lost, the life. Ian Moyer! Couldn't have said it better myself, Conrad. That's a great point. You hit that one out of the liberal ballpark. Thank you so very much, Ian. Let's see, Conrad. Oh, I didn't even see that. Ian, thank you so very, very much for always. Conrad, I didn't see. I apologize. The ignorant liberals and the left think that because they have good intentions, they're not responsible for the unintended consequences set in motion by them. Exactly. Well, the road, Conrad, the road to you-know-where is paved with good intentions. Exactly, Conrad. Ian, thank you for informing me of what Conrad just said. You look at like people like Michael Rappaport or Chris Cuomo or Alec Baldwin. These are people who would never be able to survive an actual, like, head-to-head physical confrontation with anybody. They're like made of jello. And they're all talk and bark, and it's like they're hotheads. They think they're tough. They want to be tough. But it's like they're the actual bullies. They're the actual bullies. It's not the Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump. Eric Trump and Donald Trump Jr. don't pick fights with people. They don't pretend that they want to, like, go up, and they're not like Chris Cuomo. Hey, what's up? Let's do it. Let's do it. It's an insult to your people's men. They don't pretend that. They don't pretend to be like tough, like hothead tough guys. The left is full of fake, phony, hothead tough guys who you could defeat in arm wrestling with your pinky. Ian, thank you so very much. Nico Hammer, I don't think the libs have any good intentions. Oftentimes they don't. Nico, thank you. Nico, Doc Flex, Baldwin, Karma got him. Yeah, I mean, it's a curse. Doc Flex, it's a curse. There has to, Nico, Ian Moyer, thank you so very much, Ian. I can't thank you enough. I hope all is well. Ian, thank you. Nico Hammer, Doc Flex, Nico, Ian, Conrad, Doc Flex, everybody here. I think that there has to be some kind of, it's a phenomenon called the Trump curse. The Trump curse is a phenomenon. It's obviously not really a curse, because there's no such thing as a curse, but there could be, not that there could be such thing as a curse, but psychologically it could get to somebody if they're not maybe spiritually and mentally and emotionally strong. But it is when you devoted your life to exactly Cenk Uygur, JG. They're always, this is the thing. It's this projection. You have Cenk Uygur. Look at the liberal males. The liberal males. Liberal males gone wild. The liberal males of this country, the ones who pontificate and judge and condemn, could be canceled 50 times over for things they've done in their lives. But because they play ball with I don't even know. Like, you look at General Milley, for example. I didn't see a liberal male. I don't know if he just wants to be loved by the liberal males. So we go from Patton to Schwarzkopf to Milley. So you could do the math on that. Angela! Just wait till he steps in and asks, what is the evidence? Yeah. Yeah, Angela, thank you. Angela, thank you. This is the thing, like, there's a curse. There is a Trump curse. And it is the people who, you know what it is? The most devious narcissists are attracted to trying to disparage and mock and denigrate and obsess over, whatever short-term publicity they get or admiration from trying to take down Trump. Like President Trump has been like those electric mosquito electric mosquito things where the mosquitoes just flock to them and like zzz, zzz, zzz. Look at the people who you just look at the people who are now, you have everyone from Andrew Cuomo to Alec Baldwin just biting the dust, getting completely destroyed by their own despicable selves. And you can't say Alec Baldwin didn't do this, like he wasn't culpable. He created his own, all of the people there working for him were working in horrendous conditions where they had to actually walk out. So, they had to actually walk out. That's how bad it was. That's how bad it was. You have a situation where people are working in very bad conditions, terrible conditions, because of a man who devoted his life to disparaging Trump, didn't want safety. He wanted cost-cutting measures. But he's telling the world how bad Trump is. And this is all you need to know. It's all you need to know. That is just all you need to know. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. I think I'm going to call it an evening. Ian, I can't thank you enough as always. Conrad, everybody here. Hi, Caroline. Hello. JG. Hello. Jaden. Hello. Let's see. Oh, the set obtained the firearm. So, but he didn't check it. He ignored safety protocols. 3 accidental discharges, protest pertaining to safety conditions. So, all of those things. Jaden, hello. Ian Moyer, thank you so very much. Ladies and gentlemen, JG. Thank you so very much. Eric, thank you. Luke, thank you. Everyone here, thanks so much. I'll see you tomorrow. If there's any new updates, I'll do a segment on the Alec Baldwin catastrophe. But hit subscribe. We're now over, let's see, we're over 185,000 subs officially. So tell your friends about this channel. The stock market channel, I will have a segment up later this evening or later in the early morning tomorrow. Numerous ones. And God bless you all. Stay safe. It is a tragedy, but it's a tragedy that this man's life has led to. Like when you're arrested twice, kicked off an airplane, always getting into scuffles, then devote your life to disparaging half the country, then you ignore safety protocols, then you don't even have a meeting with the armorer over 3 accidental discharges that you know about, you're the executive producer, and you use non-union labor just because you want to save money and you're worth $60 million, and the camera crew literally walks out because of safety conditions, and then the cinematographer loses her life because of you. He's culpable from a criminal sense. He faces criminal liability now because of the environment that he created. Give me your thoughts. Thanks, everybody. Hit subscribe. Tell your friends. I'll be back tomorrow.